Okay, so this morning, well, I wasn't asked, but I made a batch of pickles yesterday. Here they are. So, I have a cucumber from our garden. In here, so far, I have like almost a whole clove of garlic, a little less than that, honestly, because I kind of felt like, I don't know if my brother and his family like garlic like that, but I like the taste of it, so I didn't do as much. I probably could take out a little bit, but in any event, it's about flavor. I did a couple sprigs of dill, and then this pickling seasoning. Just got this from my local ShopRite. It's called a pickling spice. It has in there yellow mustard, as you can see, coriander, laurel. I don't know if I've ever heard of laurel, but dill seed, fenugreek, whole allspice, red chilies, and black pepper. So in mine, I used this, but I also added a bit more crushed red pepper to give a spicy one. I had the Grillo's spicy pickle, and it was really good, but I didn't put as much spice because I didn't want to overpower it. So I'm kind of testing out how much spice I like. I do taste it, but it's like the very slightest hint of it. So I'm not going to add any additional crushed red pepper to this just because I don't know what their spice tolerance is. So to get this started, again, local ShopRite for these two. I mean, I already had this on hand, but I know I bought this from ShopRite. Just recently picked this up. And then what I learned is, so there's a lot of different salt. Let me see. So there are different types of salt, and I'm coming to learn that they each do like a different thing. Now, in my salt chamber is sea salt. It's by Morton's. I don't have the container anymore because I emptied the rest of what I had left in here. I don't think I have this anymore, but this is a Morton's brand sea salt, and it comes in a, was it plastic? I think it was a plastic container. But anyways, let me open that. So I love my salt chamber. So honestly, for the last, I don't even know how many years, let me see, since we had the apartment. So the apartment we got in 2019. So I'm gonna say since 2019, I've been using sea salt, and I really like it. I definitely have learned how to use it because you can easily overpower something with just too much. Then I have Morton's iodized salt, and then kosher salt. So these two we're probably more so familiar with just, you know, regular seasoning, cooking, all that good stuff. But when it comes to pickling, it is recommended to use a kosher salt. What I learned in my research is that if you use these other salts, your brine can come out a little cloudy. The big thing for me was cloudy brine. When I get pickles, my brine is never cloudy, so I was like, I want to stick to it. But any recipe I looked up, it always mentioned kosher salt, so I had to look this up because I'm just like, I thought kosher, my understanding of kosher was very different. I thought it was kosher just specifically about religious reasons, if I hope I'm saying that right. For example, there's a period of time at our local ShopRite where orange juice is kosher. Like, there's different things that are kosher. So I had figured, yes, there was a certain process in it. Either that or it was blessed, or actually might have had a specific process in which, you know, it ended up on the shelf to be considered kosher. But in any event, I'm rambling. So I needed kosher salt. So I got this from my local Dollar Tree because yesterday morning I went to ShopRite and got this, not paying attention to the fact that it's a kosher salt. So I could have gotten this while I was at ShopRite, but they have it at ShopRite, Walmart, Target. But for the sake of not having to drive a little bit further, they did have one at the local Dollar Tree. So what I'm also learning about kosher is just that it is just salt. just salt. Ingredients is just salt. Where if you look at the iodized salt, there are other additives in here to prevent the salt from caking. And I don't have the original container for this, but it didn't say kosher sea salt, it just said kosher salt. Now, this, if you can see, excuse the oven, but if you can see, like, you can see that it's textured. It almost looks like a sea salt. It doesn't say sea salt, but it looks like, actually, sea salt comes in different ingredients. So, like, this is, it looks coarse, like you would normally, not shouldn't say normally, but like how you might see a sea salt, where with this one, I'm hoping not to mix it, it's a little bit finer. So if you're gonna pickle, kosher salt, but then there's also something called pickling salt. So I don't know if pickling salt specifically helps something be more shelf stable. The recipes I was looking for were for refrigerated pickles, you know, 24-hour, like 24 hours for the marinating, but like for refrigerated pickles, not for anything that be shelf stable. So I'm going to do some more research on that, because with the abundance of cucumbers that I'm getting, I would like to be able to can or jar pickles that will be shelf stable in my pantry. So without further ado, in pickling, now that we have had our little salt lesson, in pickling, so obviously your pickling spice, pickling spices, salts, but another main character is distilled white vinegar. Now, I had a white vinegar, but I'm assuming the last time I used it, I didn't put the lid back on, and a couple fruit flies got in. I'm not necessarily deterred by that, because I still use that distilled white vinegar for like cleaning and stuff of that nature, which is fine. But for the sake of pickling, I just want, or to make these pickles, I just wanted to have something fresh. So I got this as well from my local Dollar Tree, which I thought that this container was going to be small like this. When I got there, I saw it was like this, and I'm like, well, for whatever reason, I thought that I was going to need like half a cup of kosher salt. I don't need half a cup of kosher salt. I only needed like a teaspoon or tablespoon, in fact. So I ended up buying 2 of these. So my plan is to do some more pickles. And I don't know if I can use this vinegar because it's 5% acidity. For shelf stable canning or jarring, however you want to say it, you do need a specific acidity. So I have to do research, because I do remember seeing that, but I haven't gotten to that part just yet to remember about if it was 4 or 5% acidity that they recommend. But for this project, this will work. So I have my 2-cup Pyrex situation here, and I'm just going to measure. And again, measuring, just because I learned this in science class back in high school, is do not measure from up here thinking, oh, that's at a cup. It just might be, but if you come down a little bit, you might see that you are just shy of a cup. So always try and get down to eye level. But I mean, for the most part, we were pretty accurate. But never measure from up here. Always get down to eye level to see where you're at. So that's that. I'm just going to do some filtered water because I don't really feel like putting my camera down. And eye level. And we are about right. There we go. Not to, looks like I'm above there, but when you come down to eye level, I am pretty good. So we're gonna empty this into our pot, right? With our tablespoon of, I almost said pickling salt. Our tablespoon of, what is this stuff? Kosher salt. My tablespoon must be gone. So this is a teaspoon. We're gonna do 2 of these with a tablespoon, and that's just gonna be that. Okay. One, two. Okay. If you can see, I have Mr. Fruit Fly flying around because he smells the vinegar. So I'll put a little on that. Okay. So, ooh, let's not burn my scissors and my knife. Okay, find the correct one. This one, put it on low. So you can put it on low, and then we are literally just stirring this until that dissolves, which in my experience is pretty quick. And by experience, I mean just doing it yesterday. Specifically for pickling. I mean, I've had to, dissolve sugars or chicken bouillon, stuff like that, but it generally takes quick. Like, as you can see already, majority of it has already begun to dissolve. Probably have less than a teaspoon in here left. So that's that. Here we are on to cutting. Now, I did already wash this off. Let's see how we can do this. Stick you right there. Bring you back up. Okay. Oh, there we go. You can kind of see me from here. Perfect. Is this the best knife for cutting? Don't know. Now, these ends get added to my little compost situation that I have in the far corner over there somewhere of my counter space. Now, as far as cutting and thickness, I like a relatively thick pickle, but I'm gonna try and get the width of like regular size. I like a little bit of crunch. I don't want it to be super thin. I feel like these are regular size. I could be wrong. This seems like a normal size for me. Oh, another thing, I don't know if you can do this or not, but another thing I've done, or a friend of mine has done, and I thought it was pretty cool, was that she brought the Grillo's pickles, which can be, on the not so, can cost a bit, okay? They can cost a bit, but she just reused the brine for a little bit. And eventually, obviously, because the things get soaked up, the exchange between water, science lesson for another day. But the brine eventually got a little bit watery, but you can still taste the flavor of it. But she did reuse it. I would imagine the first time she reused it, it was like really, really good. So we're just gonna slide the camera over here. There we go. So I'm just going to layer these in here as best as possible, including some of the small ones, especially in the corners, to take up more space. Get some of the big ones at the bottom. I'm just kind of layering them in here in a way that suits what I needed to do. Is there probably a better way to do this? I probably would imagine so, yes. But this is going to work for me today. Get that out of there. All right, now we're down to these ones, which I kind of, there we go. Put one in there, one here, one there. Actually, we're gonna eat this. We're gonna eat that. We'll call that the chef tax. Okay. No. How's this all the way cooled? Somewhat. But I'm just going to use my little measuring cup here and start pouring some of the brine in the bowl. Now, I'm going to recommend that they let this sit in the fridge for at least 24 hours, so maybe enjoy them tomorrow. We shall see what they say about that. Just a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. I do see that there are some hanging out, so I probably will end up taking this one. And that one. And then topping this off just a bit more. Okay. Now, we're going to put this semi, not airtight, but definitely watertight in here. And then when I go to church today, I will give this to my brother, and him and his family can enjoy. And my hope is that they come out as good as the ones I made before, which, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably could have added those other cucumbers here, but this was pretty jam-packed yesterday. And, oh my gosh, that's good. That is good. Okay. So yeah. Very good. Very awesome. Because I added the extra chili flakes. You do, after, I think I just ate 2, right? I think I ate 2, yeah. You do have the very, very slightest tingle on the tongue after the fact. So that was actually pretty good. The Grillo's ones are definitely a bit spicier, so I could play around with having a spicy and non-spicy version, which I'm going to look into doing that. But these are my 2 cucumber situations. Now, what I would do is, I do have some mason jars coming in. I ordered them, so I might dedicate a pint or a quart to actually doing pickles the right way, where you pressure can them. But in the meantime, I really do enjoy these like 24-hour refrigerated pickles. That's it for pickling cucumbers. I'll probably do a red onion video too, because about a year or 2 ago I played around with that, and that was a hit with my family. That's that for pickling. These will go into the fridge, and then when I leave for church in about an hour, I'll take these with me, throw it in the fridge at the church, and then have my brother take them home. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time.